Why, hello students! In this video I'm going to explain to you exactly what you need to do in order to complete the first part of this assignment. Now, what I have open in front of me is Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. Oh, Sonnet 18, Shakespeare's most famous sonnet and one of the most recited poems in all of English literature. Now, you and your group members will have a different sonnet open in front of you. What you should have done is gone to the very right-hand side of the glog and opened the document that corresponds with the group number that I assigned you. So you'll all be looking at the same sonnet, but it will be different from the one I'm doing. I'm focusing on Sonnet 18. Again, we'll come back to the importance of 18 in a minute. This portion of the assignment is meant as a review. We've already talked about iambic pentameter and how it functions, how it works, all of that kind of stuff. So a lot of this is going to be something you've already heard before. From our previous discussions of iambic pentameter, we learned that poetry is all about sound and rhythm, how words flow together to create harmonious beauty. You learned about all that already. The question today is, how do I annotate or mark up a written poem to demonstrate that I know how the poem flows, I know how it works, I know how the rhythm operates? How do I do that? Well, scholars have a certain way of representing the rhythm or the meter of a poem on an actual printed or written text. So what I'm going to do here is zoom in onto the first two lines. What I'm attempting to do is demonstrate the iambic pentameter through some kind of written mark. Now, if you remember, iambic pentameter is all about the short long, short long, short long, ta-dum, ta-dum, ta-dum. So how am I going to represent that in the text? Well, we use a certain convention. What we do is put a slash line above the syllable that receives the stress. So for example, in the first iamb, remember that iambs are one little grouping of a short and long syllable. So in my very first line, shall I is the stress syllable. So I'm going to put a slash line above the I. Now, why did I put the slash line above the I? Why wouldn't I stress the first syllable? Well, the easy answer would be, we know that iambic pentameter goes unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, ta-dum, ta-dum. But another answer would be the content. What is the line trying to say? How does the form, the stress, non-stress syllables, emphasize the actual content of the line, what the line's trying to say? Shakespeare here is not really asking a question with this first line. It's more like a rhetorical question, where he's not expecting an answer. Yes, of course he's going to compare thee to a summer's day. That's the whole point of the poem. So it's not, shall I compare thee to a... It's not like that. No. Instead it is, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Notice I have 5 slashes. 5 slashes. This is where the stress falls in this line. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Now what do I do for the non-stress syllables? Well, the convention is I put a little U over them. These are the softer ones. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Let's try the second line. Always start with the stress syllable. It's easier that way. Remember, iambic pentameter goes unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. So, thou art more lovely and more temperate. Our unstressed syllables would be thou art more lovely and more temperate. Just like that. Now what I want your group to do is to go through each line and try to figure out the stressed syllables and the unstressed syllables. They should all follow this pattern. Notice, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. Ta-dum, 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 ta-dum. like the human heartbeat. But the rhythm isn't the only important part. The next thing you need to do is identify the rhyme scheme. This should be pretty easy because all of Shakespearean sonnets follow the same rhyme scheme. Remember that Shakespearean sonnets are divided up into quatrains. A quatrain means 4 lines. So our first quatrain follows this rhyme scheme. Okay, I have day, that's our A rhyme. May is our other A rhyme. Temperate, date, or temperate, date. I'll go down to my second quatrain, 4 lines. Shines, this will be my C. Declines, dimmed, untrimmed. And all I have to do is go down to my third quatrain. Fade, shade, owest, growest. And finally, in the conclusion, I come to the rhyming couplet. 2 lines that rhyme. G, G. So what you and your group need to do is take a look at the whole sonnet you have in front of you. Each line should identify the unstressed and stressed parts of the lines. So, unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. Figure out where that is in the poem. Then identify the rhyme scheme. That's your first task. Go.